Valley Christian has one top. They elected to defer. Mitty King, Valley Christian will pick to the top. Guys, coming chicken, respect the game, respect each other, good luck.
Thank you, referee Ed Batista, and we appreciate all our referees and all their hard work all season. Tonight's Valley Christian captains were Brandon Henderson, number 2, 57, Rain Mayo Jr., number 20, Remy Hernandez, and number 42, Levante Metcalf. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask for those of you that are able to please stand and remove your caps. In the ongoing tradition of values held by both schools and all our West Catholic schools, we'll continue tonight with a prayer. Loving God, bless the communities of Archbishop Mitty and Valley Christian, and all of us gathered here tonight, our student athletes, coaches, parents, officials, fans, and staff. Keep our players and officials free from injury while they're out on the field tonight, and remind us of our mutual mission to love and respect one another. And again tonight, we pray for peace throughout the world. We ask this in the name of Jesus, your Son. Amen. Please remain standing to honor our country and the brave men and women protecting it and representing it around the world tonight. Here to perform the Star Spangled Banner Live, the Archbishop Mitty Pep Band under the direction of Marissa Callahan. Number 19, Aaron Vander being to kick off tonight's game for the Warriors.
College, we're glad you could join us. Oh, and a little trickery goes awry for the Monarchs. A reverse, attempted reverse on that kick return, and the Warriors have recovered that fumble deep inside Monarch territory, and that's exactly the start that Danny Sullivan and the coaching staff did not want to see. So taking a chance early on the opening kick return, that ball fumbled, and the Warriors take over now with the ball on the Monarch, make it 16-yard line. And the first play from scrimmage, a run right up the gut. And we'll see plenty of that tonight. Number 8, Marcel Leggett. He and his running mate, Uchenna Akei. And they will provide the bulk of the Warrior offense. An interesting situation at quarterback tonight. We'll talk to you about that as the game moves on. Meanwhile, second down here. And the Warriors pound the ball up the middle again. And Leggett, the ball carrier, brings the ball down to, call it the 2-yard line. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal from the Archbishop Mitty 2. And the third play from scrimmage, Ikaya McLemore crashes into the line again and crosses the end zone. And just like that, the Warriors have broken through on their first possession of the game, capitalizing on that fumble on the opening kickoff. This will bring out Nicholas Tankersley for the PAT attempt. Tankersley kick is up. And it's good. And the clock has barely started running, and it's Valley Christian 7, Archbishop Mitty nothing. Meanwhile, around the league tonight, and we'll be keeping you abreast of the rest of those games as we get updates. Up in San Mateo, Sarah will be taking on St. Ignatius. The Wildcats victorious over the Monarchs up in San Francisco last week, traveling down to San Mateo to take on league leaders and undefeated Sarah. Sarah a lock for the #1 seed in the CCS playoffs. And we'll talk to you about the seeding ramifications as the evening makes its way on. In the meantime, the second kickoff of the evening, Aaron Vanderveen's kick rolls through for a touchback, and the Monarchs now will take over for their first offensive series of the evening. So Danny Sullivan tried a bit of trickery on the first kickoff, and if you tuned in late, the wheels came off on that play. The Warriors recovered that kickoff fumble, and 3 plays later, there were 7 points on the board for Valley Christian. Monarchs break the huddle, and it's Joey Campagna at quarterback with A.J. Senazal in the backfield. Billy Hutton joined by Toju Mako at the bottom of your screen. Maddox Gamez, the lone receiver, to the top, and now Hutton goes in motion. Handoff goes to Senazal, and A.J. nothing doing against this very big, very aggressive Warrior front line. Talking to Danny Sullivan earlier in the week, he felt that the team needed to have a balanced offensive attack this week to keep the Warriors honest. And on the second play from scrimmage, Campagna finds Maddox Gamez over the middle, and that throw and catch good enough for a first down. Is credited with a 13-yard gain right there, and now getting a bit of breathing room as the ball's out at the Monarch 31-yard line. Number 9, Caden Allard in the game at tight end. A.J. Senezal trying to get around the corner, following Allard for a block, but again hunted down very quickly. The tackle there, Levante Metcalf, number 42.
TFL of a yard back to the 30. Second down and 11.
Metcalf, a 6'1", 225-pound linebacker. And you will undoubtedly be hearing his name called, as the senior is one of the stalwarts of this Warrior defense. Campagna back to pass, and he airs one out and just misses Billy Hutton. Running a route right up the seam. And Joey just put a little bit too much on that, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. With the ball now at the Monarch 30-yard line.
3rd down and 11 for your Monarchs at their 30-yard line.
So Campagna has the play from the sideline. Senezal again the lone back. Tojumaku in the slot. Campagna drops back to pass. He's got a receiver. But that ball a little bit too high and hot for Maddox Gamez, and that'll bring up 4th down on the punt team.
Brings up 4th down.
So one long pass and a series of missed opportunities, and the Monarchs will have to punt away. Dylan Oleen, number 36, back to punt. Oleen hangs and spins a bouncer that eventually rolls out at the Warrior 42-yard line, and Valley Christian will take over from there. I mentioned a quarterback issue. Both of the starting quarterbacks for the Valley Christian Warriors out for tonight's game, and that necessitated bringing up sophomore quarterback number 17, Jesse Diana. Diana pushed into service tonight, drawn up from the junior varsity team just for this game, and so that gives the Monarchs an opportunity to see if they can rattle this inexperienced quarterback and get themselves back into this ball game. Handoff goes to Leggett. He's met at the line. Eric Robles, number 50, shaken up a bit on that play, and Robles will come off. Looks to be holding his right shoulder. Robles will be replaced by number 77, Dan Smith. And after Leggett's run, it's now 2nd and 7 for the Warriors. Leggett with a delayed handoff again, turns the corner and picks up the first down and about 4 more yards. So Leggett and Eke will be the feature runners tonight. And one has to imagine that between their ability and the inexperience of Jesse Diana at quarterback, the Warriors will look to grind this out behind their very impressive, very big offensive line. Monarchs will have to come up with an answer. Leggett again with the handoff, this time met at the line of scrimmage. Antoine Dos Santos Guardo. Helped out there by number 9, Caden Allard. Allard, for those of you that were at or saw last week's game up in the city, took a vicious hit that looked to put him out of the game, and less than 2 plays later, he was on the sideline ready to come back in the game and ended up catching a touchdown in that game against SI up in the city. And he's obviously back tonight and firing on all cylinders, and they'll need outstanding play from one of their senior leaders. Leggett breaks through into the secondary and chugs forward for about an 11-yard gain. Another first down for the Warriors.
Gain of 9. First and 10, Valley Christian at the Monarch 33.
And the ball spotted now at the Mitty 33-yard line, first and 10. And this time Micaiah McLemore, the ball carrier, churns forward again. I mentioned the size up front for the Warriors. A few of those linemen to keep an eye on tonight. Number 54, Mateo Ruiz, a 6'3", 315-pound senior. He's joined up there by his partner, number 55, Siaosi Tuika, another senior, 6'4", 340 pounds. And number 73, Champ Tualele, 6'3" and 333. And you can see why. You can expect that Valley Christian will be keeping the ball on the ground for the majority of this game. And thus far, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So sophomore quarterback, number 17, Jesse Diana, pressed into service tonight. Has done his job, which is essentially to take the ball, give it to the running backs, and let those big offensive linemen do their thing up front. 3rd and 2. Delayed handoff goes to Leggett. Breaks the corner on the left side, and Leggett is in for the touchdown. And so 2 offensive series have resulted in 2 Valley Christian Warrior touchdowns. And the visitors yet to call a pass play. And given the success that they're having on the ground thus far, for obvious reasons, that will be the go-to scheme for the offense tonight. Aaron Vanderveen's kick is up.
And Vanderveen's point after attempt is good.
And it is good. And with 4:46 left on the clock here in the first quarter, it's Valley Christian 14, Archbishop Mitty nothing. So 2 relatively quick scores by Valley has taken a little air out of the balloon tonight here at senior night. A big student section right outside the booth here. It's ski week theme, and so the student body dressed in their winter wear finery. Plenty of ski goggles on display. And the emotional temperature has dropped a bit after those 2 early scores by the Warriors. And we'll have to see if the Monarchs can get themselves back in the groove. Toju Maku on the return breaks a tackle, and he is eventually forced out of bounds right in front of the Monarch bench, but not before a nifty return gets the ball out to about the 26-yard line. And so decent field position to start out again.
16-yard return to the 26.
And one would have to say that at this point, the key for Danny Sullivan's offense is to not panic. There's still plenty of time left in this game to get themselves back into it. But they need to get on track and get a rhythm here in their second offensive possession of the night. Aired out to Maku, and Toju gets turned around and unfortunately not able to haul that one in. Great effort by the senior wide receiver, the 6'1", 170 Toju Maku, tiptoeing his way down the sideline and made an acrobatic effort, but wasn't able to bring that ball down under control, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Maku remains at the left wide receiver position. Caden Allen now shifts over to the right. Another fumble. That ball is down, and it looks like Joey Campagna was able to recover. And check that. That was Jonah Croning, the junior quarterback. Croning and Campagna doing a lot of alternating this season at the quarterback position. Campagna was on the sideline, and Croning unfortunately was unable to hold on to that ball, but did come up with his own fumble. That'll bring up a 3rd and 12, and Joey Campagna is now back in the game. A big blitz, and Joey goes down under a huge amount of pressure. Led there again by Levante Metcalf. Warriors showing blitz on the play and making good on that as they drop the senior QB for a loss, and Dylan O'Lean out again, and this time he'll be punting from his own 2-yard line. And O'Lean with a very short angled punt to the far sideline. Giving the deep back Brandon Henderson no chance at a return, but unfortunately it also gives the Warriors excellent field position as O'Lean's kick squibbed off the side of his foot and out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
O'Lean's punt goes out of bounds at the 20. That's a 5-yard punt. 1st and 10.
And that'll bring the Warriors and quarterback Deanna back out. This time he's joined in the backfield by Leggett. Play fake. Deanna looks downfield and then pulls the ball down, scrambles upfield, and he may be near a 1st down. So head coach Mike Machado calling the first pass play of the night for the Warriors.
There may be a flag on the play.
Deanna looking to his right, nothing doing there, so he pulled the ball down, and a late flag coming in. This penalty looks to be on the Monarchs. And the chain gang have laid down their implements, which means that it's 1st and goal for the Warriors. The ball placed at the Mitty 7-yard line. Leggett, the lone setback with Deanna in the backfield. Sophomore operating from the shotgun. Delayed handoff goes to Leggett. He surges forward near the goal line. And it doesn't look like he was able to break the plane. And that's as close as you can get without actually scoring. The ball literally on the Monarch goal line, and that'll bring up second and goal from a couple inches out. Leggett again, the lone setback. Full house line in front of him. Handoff goes to Leggett, surges forward and in for a touchdown. And so 3 series, 3 TDs. And the Monarchs starting to look at a mountain to climb, as we still have 2 minutes and 6 seconds left here in the first quarter. Aaron Vanderveen's PAT is up and good. And so with 2:06 left, it's Valley Christian 21, Archbishop Mitty nothing. So clearly not the start that the Monarchs were hoping for. If there is one upside to the situation that they find themselves in, is that there's still plenty of time left on the clock. And a sustained drive and points on the board would certainly stop the bleeding and go a long ways to pushing the momentum back around. Toju Mako and Ethan McCombie set deep for the Monarchs. Vanderveen's kick is driven to the right-hand side, and that's taken by Toju Mako. He breaks through, and Maku's got one man to beat. Vanderveen is the only person that can catch him, and he does, but not before Toju busts a huge return. And that is exactly what Mitty needed to get this crowd back into the game and push the momentum meter back in their favor. So Toju Mako with a couple of nifty moves, and credit to Aaron Vanderveen, the place kicker, the last man left on the play, made the tackle and brought Mako down, but not before he scampered all the way down to the 29-yard line. And so that'll bring out the Monarchs. And senior Joey Campagna back at quarterback with classmate A.J. Sunazal in the backfield. Pass is tossed to Mako. He makes the catch. And we'll have to wait for the spot on that. But a solid gain. That ball now placed at the 21 for an 8-yard gain. 2nd and 2. Campagna with a delayed handoff to Senazal, breaks a tackle. He's into the backfield. And gang tackled there, but not before he breaks down inside the 10-yard line to earn a 1st and goal for Archbishop Mitty. So the Monarchs, after getting sucker punched in the first 3 defensive series, are now knocking on the door with the ball now on the 7-yard line and a 1st and goal. Jonah Croning takes the snap, sweeps around right side, and nothing going there. And Croning will be thrown for a loss of about 3 yards.
Tackle for loss by 52, Jones Lewis.
Make that a loss of 4. The ball just over the 11-yard line, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal from the 11. And the clock running. Monarchs will get one final play here in the first quarter. Hard count there by Campagna, and the Warriors jump offside. That'll move the ball 5 yards forward, and so all of that loss plus a yard will be ticked back off. And more importantly, the clock has stopped, and there are 14.7 seconds left. And our head referee starts the clock again. Monarchs looking to try and get in one more play. Campagna takes a snap, hands off to Senezal, surges forward, and AJ surging down to about the 4-yard line. And so we'll pick the ball up, move it down the other end of the field as the first quarter comes to an end, and the scoreboard reads, Valley Christian 21, Archbishop Mitty nothing. You're watching Archbishop Mitty football here on AMHS Live. And welcome back to Foothill College as we get ready to start the second quarter of play. The Valley Christian Warriors defense already back on the field looking to defend that 21-0 lead. The Monarchs have a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. And Danny Sullivan sends them back out. Joey Campagna lines up at quarterback, takes a snap, rolls to his right, throws back to his left. He's got a receiver, and that ball hung up just a little bit too far. Caden Allard was the intended receiver, wide open, but unfortunately, Campagna's throw back to the left side was hung just a little bit too long, so that brings up an interesting play call. 4th and goal from the 4-yard line, trailing by 3 touchdowns. And you would have to imagine at this point, the Monarchs will go for 6, and that's exactly what they do. Low snap, Campagna picks it up, and that ball squirts out his intended receiver. Billy Hutton unable to hold on to it, and a promising drive, unfortunately, runs out of downs. And so a impressive kick return by Toju Maku, and then a nearly as impressive drive down inside the 5-yard line comes to nothing. And the Monarchs send their defense back out against this huge Warrior front offensive line. We'll have to see if the defensive coordinator decides to throw something different here. Handoff goes to Leggett, and he is forced back. Antoine Dos Santos Guardo with a big hit. And the end result of that is a 1-yard loss. And so Valley now comes out 2nd and 11 at their own 3-yard line. Monarchs crowd the box. Handoff goes to number 25, Akia McLemore. And the sophomore running back, 5'9", 195 pounds, gets about 5 yards, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 6. And so a big down here for the Monarchs. A defensive stop here and forcing the Warriors to punt would give them excellent field position. But first they have to find a way to stop the run. McLemore again, the running back, and there are whistles. And it looks like head coach Mike Machado has decided to talk this one over with his sophomore and apparently there was a offside penalty called on the Monarchs. And now it changes us to a 3rd and 1. And off goes to McLemore, breaks a tackle on the near sideline, and he's forced out of bounds. Caden Kelly on the stop. But McLemore doing the hard work there. And the ball finally placed out at the 30. So the Warriors now no longer have their own end zone at their back. And the opportunity for the Monarchs to force a punt now has gone away. Play action, and the keeper, as Deanna is met. Jesse Deanna met there by a group of Monarchs led by number 5, Toju Maku. Deanna credited with forward motion on a 6-yard pickup there, and that'll bring up 2nd and 4 from the 36-yard line. Caden Kelly checking out of the game, and Caden Allard, number 9, back in defensively. And McLemore remains the lone setback, takes the handoff, crashes through the middle of the line, and he will pick up another first down. So Mike Machado taking advantage of the huge size differential between the offensive line of his boys and the defensive line of the Monarchs. And this is fundamentally smash mouth football by the Warriors. And thus far, it has served them well, as with 8:24 on the clock, they hold a 21-0 lead over the host Monarchs. I mentioned earlier that one of the key games that will impact the playoff picture is taking place right now down in Salinas. The Cowboys playing host to Hollister. That game just got underway right at 7:30, and we'll try to keep you abreast of any developments going on there. Meanwhile, down in San Jose at San Jose City College, St. Francis traveling to play Bellarmine. And no score thus far available in that game. Meanwhile, back on the field, Number 8, Marcel Leggett, the ball carrier. Leggett met at the line of scrimmage, and then a second effort. Earns the junior tailback about 6 yards. Ball out now on the Warrior 47 and a 2nd and 4. Deanna still operating out of the shotgun. Hands off to Leggett. Crashes forward. Number 45, Tika Reed on the tackle. But Leggett's run good enough for another first down. And also breaks into Monarch territory. The ball now spotted at the 48-yard line. 7:10 left until halftime. Handoff goes to Leggett again. Surges forward behind the line. He is met by Dan Smith, and nothing going this time. Zach Nyal also helping out on the tackle. And Leggett thrown for a loss. And John Skeet checking back into the game, replacing Drayton Johnson up front. McLemore, the lone setback, takes the handoff, breaks a tackle at the line, into the secondary, and second effort gets him out near a first down. Eventually brought down by Toju Maku. And the sophomore running back's effort is good enough for first down. There's the ball now placed at the Archbishop Mitty 35-yard down. And another first down for the Warriors. McLemore remains in the game at running back, joined back there by Ethan Flynn. Deanna takes a snap, hands off to McLemore, surges forward over right tackle. And he gains about 3. And ultimately credited with about a 2-yard gain, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 8 from the 33-yard line. 5:30 on the clock. Deanna hands off. Once again, McLemore breaks through the line. Brought down by Talon Salahi. And that'll bring up a 3rd and call it 4 yards.
McLemore, the ball carrier. Tackle by Carrera. Gain of 14 to the 22. Third down and 11 for the Warriors. McLemore, the ball carrier. Stopped by 23, Grant Schmidt. "21-yard gain to the 1. First and goal. McLemore, the ball carrier, a flag on the play.
On the offense, number 25. 5-yard penalty with the first down. We will start the clock on the snap.
Touchdown, Warriors. Number 25, Ikaya McLemore with his second touchdown from 6 yards out. And Vanderveen's point after attempt is good. 52.9 seconds left in the first half. Valley Christian 28, Archbishop nothing. Number 33, Ethan McCombie on the return. Out to the 31-yard line, first and 10 Monarchs. Campagna's pass complete to Maku. Ruled down inbounds after a gain of 9 seconds and 1. Campagna's pass complete to Allard. First and 10 at the Warriors 41. Campagna's pass complete to Maku. Picked up a first and 10 at the 29. Campagna's pass incomplete, intended for Maku. Campagna's pass complete to Gomez. Gain of 8 to the 21.
Mitty. That's our final timeout.
Following the timeout, it'll be second down and 2 at the 21 of the Warriors. Campagna's pass incomplete, intended for Hutton. At the half, the Valley Christian Warriors 28, your Archbishop Monarchs nothing. Fans coming up, this will be an 18-minute total halftime, 15 minutes for halftime activities, and 3 minutes for the players to re-warm up. Again, an 18-minute total halftime. Stick around for our halftime show coming up next. fans, we begin tonight's halftime show with the best dance team in Northern California. That's right, they're back, they're fierce, and they're here to perform for you, the Archbishop Mitty. The Archbishop Mitty Royals. As always, an Anithra Rhodes production. But wait, there's more. Good evening, Monarchs! Won't you please welcome to the theater for the last home game of the 23-24 season, the Archbishop Mitty Scatter Band. In February, the band is going somewhere special, or as you may know it, the happiest place on earth. Here's a little sneak peek of what's to come for the band program this spring.
Certainly help the Monarchs, no matter what the outcome of this game is in terms of the comparable rankings and ratings. So a complicated formula on display right now. We'll talk a little bit more about that along with some other CCS stuff, but let's take a listen to the Archbishop Mitty Pep
Now
Band.
the fall weather is catching up to us. Let's go take a break from the beach and hope we don't run into any pirates. It's pretty crazy just how far we've gotten into this school year. But as the year progresses, we just might have to see what incredible things are to come. With Whipple around the corner, we hope the cold isn't bothering you. Along with the cold, we also know the work begins piling up. However, tonight, we want you to forget about all the stress of school and just take a deep breath and let it go. Before we leave the field, we want to take a second to recognize our seniors performing on field for the last time. Please give it up for Hugo, Jaden, David, Michael, Connor, Megan, Ryan, Joshua, and our drum majors this year, Supash and Marissa. Thank you, everyone, for the season. Enjoy the rest of the music in the game. Go Monarchs!
And as the strains of the alma mater ring out from the field here at Foothill College, the pep band wrapping up another outstanding halftime performance. So I mentioned a little bit earlier about some of the metrics involved. Salinas taking on Hollister. Right now we don't have a score on that down in Salinas. The key thing to look at in terms of the rankings is that earlier this season, Salinas lost to Valley Christian, non-league competition, that way back on the 1st of September. That score 16-8, and that looks somewhat more attractive than the current 28-0 scoreboard that the Monarchs are staring at. Helping out the Monarchs' cause, though, was another loss by Salinas, 17-0 to Clayton Valley, who are currently losing big to the De La Salle Spartans over in the East Bay. And so a much more cohesive second half and a stronger performance would certainly help the Monarchs' case this Sunday at the CCS office when the seating meeting will take place in 2 days' time. Speaking of CCS playoffs, fall sports heading into the postseason, 4 of our other Monarch teams already in section playoff action. Tomorrow, the CCS field hockey quarterfinals, 11 o'clock versus Gilroy. That game taking place at Gilroy. Men's water polo also in the quarterfinals, 11:30 versus Homestead. That game taking place over at St. Francis High School. The women's water polo team will take on Mountain View in the game immediately following over at St. Francis. 1 o'clock scheduled kickoff for that. And then the CCS Open Division Women's Volleyball Championship game. The rubber match. St. Francis taking on Mitty over at Palo Alto High School. That game set to start at 12:30 tomorrow. The Monarchs and the Lancers locking horns again for the 5th time this year, each team having won 2 of the previous 4 matches. So a lot on the line tomorrow in the CCS for our Monarch fall sports teams. A couple of other things to remind you of. The annual Archbishop Mitty Open House is coming up on Sunday, November 19th. The event takes place from 8:30 to 1 p.m. on campus and features student-led tours, informational presentations, and faculty staff booths that will showcase all of the amazing parts of our high school community. Over the course of about 90 minutes, you'll be able to see the campus, chat with our administration, faculty, staff, parents, and students, along with our coaching staff, and get a chance to see all that makes Archbishop Mitty the Catholic College preparatory education that you may be looking for. Tours will also be offered in Spanish at 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. To register for the event, please create an account at ravenna-hub.com, and we look forward to seeing you at Open House 2023. Again, that event taking place on the 19th of November. So both teams back out on the field, warming up with a little under 2 minutes to go till the start of the second half. Joey Campagna warming up here on the near sideline. And clearly the situation a challenging one, to say the least, for the home team here on senior night. The Monarchs now will be forced to rely primarily on the passing game to get themselves back into this contest offensively. But the biggest question facing the Monarchs is how to stop this high-powered, exceedingly physical Warrior running game. Let's see if the coaching staff has come up with some answers at halftime, and we're going to find out in about 45 seconds here as we're just about ready to move into the second half of play. Again, lots of other action going on around the league. We will keep you abreast of all of those scores as we move through the night. And as this is our final live stream of the season, some thank yous we'd like to send out a little bit later. for all of the folks who help put these productions on for you out in YouTube land. But before we do that, there's football to be played. 2 quarters of action left here in the regular season. And certainly the messaging from Danny Sullivan and the coaching staff has to be to get these scores back one at a time. I talked with both Coach Sullivan and Coach Fred Collado, the line coach, earlier this week. They both indicated that execution was going to be the key to this game, along with conditioning. Obviously, the staff well aware of the size differential between the Monarchs and the Warriors. And the hope was that between clean execution and superior conditioning, the Monarchs might be able to wear down Valley over the course of the evening. And we will certainly see if that is the case. The Monarchs will start things here for us. Grant Schmidt, number 23, with the ball on the tee. Schmidt's kick is fielded at about the 5-yard line by Brandon Henderson. Henderson breaks a tackle, remains on his feet, and is finally brought down just shy of the 40-yard line. And so the Warriors will take over with good field position again. And it looks like a flag on the return. Is going to march this one way back. And an illegal block to the back pushes the ball back to the Warriors' own 10-yard line. So the Monarchs catching a break in the opening kickoff of the second half. And let's see if they can capitalize on that opportunity with the Warriors now pushed deep back into their own half of the field. And we have a whistle. And the back judge sees something that he does not like. Situation's been sorted out, and we get back to football. Sophomore Jesse Diana returns at quarterback, and he's joined in the backfield by Marcel Leggett. Leggett surges forward, and he's met at the line for no gain. Number 45, Tika Reed on the tackle. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the Warriors' own 10-yard line. Leggett remains the lone setback, with Kai Hamilton split to the bottom of your screen. It takes the handoff, breaks a tackle on another one, and the big tailback surges forward out over the 25-yard line to give the Warriors a first down and breathing room again. So nothing fancy, but as we mentioned in the first half, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The Warriors just running behind this massive offensive line, who are clearing holes and getting a big push. Leggett breaks out around the right side, but there he is met by Ethan McCombie, number 33. And he's helped out there by junior Antoine Dos Santos Guardo. So Again, a good stop on first down, brings up a 2nd and 10 from the 25. The Monarchs need one stop to get decent field position and give themselves an opportunity to post some points on the board. So this series is critical if they're going to get that done. Leggett again, the ball carrier.
Leggett up the middle, stopped by Smith.
And running behind this huge offensive line must just be a dream for both Leggett and McLemore, the two principal running backs for the Warriors, showing a lot of patience and just waiting for the big offensive linemen to get a good first push and create space for them to then pick their way through and tack on extra running yards. Leggett in the backfield, joined by number 7, Ethan Flynn. Big pressure, and Deanna is flushed out of the pocket, but the young man showing excellent footwork as he evades 3 tackles and eventually is run out of bounds on the far sideline. But the emergency quarterback, the young man brought up from the junior varsity for this game, scampers out to gain a first down and breathing space for the Warriors. So each time tonight that the Monarchs seem to be on the verge of stopping a Warrior drive, someone comes up big and keeps the drives alive for Valley Christian. And this has to be frustrating. And looks like number 57, Rene Mayo Jr., may have left a little early. And that is in fact the case. So 5 yards tacked on at first down. Now at 1st and 15, the ball moved back to the 38-yard line. So the Warriors not without mistakes of their own tonight, quite a few penalties, but they've more than made up for it up front with excellent blocking schemes and, as we mentioned, outstanding running, principally by Leggett and McLemore. Leggett takes the handoff, and he is met quickly in the backfield there. Number 75, Alex Blazinski, making contact first, and there is a Monarch down, and that looks to be Antoine Dos Santos Guardo. And Guardo is up. Head trainer Chelsea Waldrop, along with her staff, quickly out there to assess Antoine's well-being. He looks a bit shaken up, and so they're going to give him a breather. Guardo's been in on several key stops tonight. Over the course of the season, he has been one of the key defensive players, 38 tackles on the year. And so Dakari Monroe, the D coordinator, will certainly hope that number 20 makes his way back onto the field soon. In the meantime, Grant Schmidt will take a turn at DB. Play action. Flushed out. And Deanna manages to get his pass away. Caught for perhaps a yard. And that'll bring up a 3rd and long 13 from the 40-yard line. So again, the Monarchs with an opportunity here to force a change of possession, but they'll need to come up with a stop, and thus far tonight, that has proved a difficult task against this very high-powered Warrior running game. Leggett is the back. He takes the handoff, runs forward, breaks a tackle, and he surges forward for about 6 yards, but that's going to leave him well short of the first down. And so Mike Machado will have a decision to make here. With a 28-point lead, and discretion apparently is the better part of valor, as the punt team does come out. Vander Veen's kick is a high looping kick, takes a bounce at the 20-yard line, and then rolls back. Finally down by the Warriors punt cover team at about the, make it the 17. And so the Monarchs will take over with 6:39 on the clock here in the third quarter.
Officials have responded to 17, first and 10.
Bad snap is recovered by the Monarchs, but it'll cost them about 6 yards. And that'll bring up a second and make it 15. Toju Mako split to the far bottom of your screen. Billy Hutton in the slot. Campagna make that Kronig back to pass, but Jonah's pass sails too high. Maddox Gamez, the intended receiver, on the far side of the field, and the Monarchs now staring at a 3rd and 14. But Kronig had a shot there as Gamez out pattern gained him some space, but the ball sailing just a bit high. And Kronig remains in the game at quarterback. Jonah takes the snap. He's flushed out of the pocket and brought down inside the 1-yard line. So things going from bad to worse, unfortunately, for the Monarchs. Jonah Kronig, usually pretty fleet of foot, but the Warriors sending a blitz on that 3rd down, and Jonah was unable to work his way out of trouble. And this will bring up a very tricky punt for senior Dylan O'Lean, who stands literally at the back of his own end zone. O'Lean fields the snap. He gets the kick off. And this is a much better kick. Fielded by number 2, Brandon Henderson. And Henderson with a nifty return. So O'Lean was able to get distance, but unfortunately not quite enough height to give his punt coverage team a chance to get downfield. Henderson fielding that punt, that low driving punt, and returned the ball all the way back down to the 10-yard line. So that was a net 9-yard punt. And once again, the Warriors with a 1st and goal knocking on the door. Handoff goes to number 9, Kai Hamilton. And Hamilton rumbles forward down just short of the 5-yard line. 4:45 now on the clock.
second and goal.
Hamilton now split up to the top of the screen, leaving Leggett in the backfield with Deanna. Sophomore takes a snap, hands off to Leggett, picks his way forward, maybe a couple of yards before he is met there. Tika Reed, Drayton Johnson, and Ethan McCombie on the tackle. And that'll bring up a 3rd and goal from the 4. Leggett, the setback. Surges forward, and he is stopped short of the goal line. Caden Kelly and Caden Allard, a pair of Cadens making the stop, and that'll bring up 4th and goal from the 2-yard line. And the Monarchs will look to dig in here and deny Valley another score. Leggett joined in the backfield by number 33, Maxwell Cluck. And Danny Sullivan does not like what he sees, and the Monarchs decide to use one of their timeouts to talk it over and regroup before this 4th and goal from the 2. That'll give us a chance to look at a couple of the scores. St. Francis has scored just ahead of the half. Game now tied 7 apiece. Bellarmine and St. Francis down at San Jose City College. Meanwhile, up in San Mateo, also at halftime up there, it's the host Padres leading 36-3 over St. Ignatius. And so they are well in command. And as I mentioned earlier, in the early game up at Kezar Stadium, it was Archbishop Reardon 49, Sacred Heart Cathedral 19. So the Fighting Irish end their season. And the Crusaders of Reardon will await their seed in the Open Division, Division 1, this coming Sunday. Fade pass thrown to the back of the end zone. And it is another touchdown. So salt in the wound, unfortunately, for the Monarchs, as sophomore replacement quarterback Jesse Deanna throwing a well-placed fade to the far left corner of the end zone. Kai Hamilton, the recipient of that pass. And after Aaron Vanderveen's PAT is good, the score now Valley 35, your Monarchs nothing.
2:26 to go in the 3rd. It is now the Warriors 35, Monarchs nothing.
So Adam Carrera, our defensive back on that play, played it about as well as you could, but you must take your hat off to the young man, Deanna, stepping into a difficult situation. Elevated not just to the varsity team for this game, but the starter at quarterback, and thus far he has not put a foot wrong as he has led his team to a 35-point lead with 2:26 left here in the third quarter of play. Aaron Vander Veen, after his PAT, sets the ball down and kicks off. Vander Veen's kick is short, takes a bounce. Ethan McCombie loses the handle, but is able to recover his own fumble just short of the 25-yard line, and that's where Archbishop Mitty will take over.
First and 10.
Joey Campagna takes the snap, hands off to AJ Senezal, surges forward over the right side. That has been the favored side of the Monarchs' power running game for most of the season. And they are able to carve out about 4 yards, make that 3. It'll bring up a 2nd and 7. Campagna with the delayed handoff. Senezal picking his way through the line, and AJ comes up just short of a first down. That'll bring up a 3rd and less than 1 as the clock ticks down to about a minute and a half left here in the third quarter. There is an official's timeout down on the field, and after a quick conference, our officiating crew have decided that Senezal's run good enough for a first down, and so the chains have been moved and reset, and AJ remains in the backfield. Campagna stands tall in the pocket and finds his favorite receiver, Caden Allard, and the big tight end hauls down another big grab as the Monarchs move into Warrior territory and pick up another first down. Hand off to Senezal, trying to sweep around. Check that. That is number 44, Lazaro Faraz Washington, who checked into the game after that last play. And the sophomore, through some second effort, turned what looked to be a loss into a 5-yard gain. So some excellent individual effort there by Lazaro. And Campagna rushed on the pass there by a blitzing Remy Hernandez. That'll bring up 3rd and 5 from the 42. Toju Mako, Mako is the lone setback. Check that lone receiver here at the bottom of your screen. But before that play can be snapped, it looks like the Warriors have jumped off sides. And if that's the case, this should be another Monarch first down. And it is, in fact, time to move the sticks. And so the Monarchs putting together a consistent drive here late in the third quarter. Faraz Washington remains in the game with Campagna in the backfield. Campagna with a quarterback option. He pulls it out late, scampers forward, maybe gained a yard or 2. That option has been a favored play of both Campagna and Jonah Kronig during the course of the season. sniffed out there effectively, though. And once again, Levante Metcalf, the man at the point of attack for the... And Metcalf again, speak of the devil, raises a big paw and knocks down Campagna's second down pass, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11. But not before we flip ends of the field as we head into the 4th quarter with the Monarchs trailing 35-0. This will give us time to talk a little bit about the performing arts events coming up with the holiday season just ahead. The Performing Arts Department excited to present a series of events during the month of December. The fun begins at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, December 6th, with our holiday chorale and instrumental concert taking place at Campbell United Methodist Church. Up next, of course, the annual Winter Dance Recital. That takes place the following night on Thursday, December 7th at 7 o'clock back on campus at the Kincaid Theater. And the series of performances conclude with our usual appearance at the annual Christmas in the Park in downtown San Jose later that month. Pass complete to Caden Allard. And Allard is brought down just short of a first down. We'll have to wait to see what the spot is on this. And it looks like he will be about a yard short. So trailing by 35 points, you have to assume that we are in 4-down territory for the remainder of the game. 4th and a long yard. Senezal joins Campagna in the backfield. The Warriors showing blitz, quarterback option, and Joey surges forward and has more than enough for a first down and keeps the drive rolling. So another first down, ball at the 25-yard line. Campagna takes a snap, drops back, tosses one long. He's got Allard, but unfortunately that ball just a little overthrown. Allard had gotten behind Jack Fortuna. But Joey's pass, a little bit too much air underneath it, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 with 10:45 left to play. A.J. Senezal returns to the backfield along with Campagna. Handoff goes to Senezal, dances around the left side, and he is brought down for a loss. And it's that man again, Levante Metcalf. And after that 2-yard loss, the Monarchs are staring at a 3rd and 12 from the 27-yard line. Maddox Gamez and Billy Hutton both split to the left. Caden Allard joins them. Campagna back to pass, slings one down the sideline, and a big defensive effort there by number 12, Joseph Patterson. And once again, 4-down territory for the Monarchs. 4th and 12 from the 27-yard line with a clock ticking down to the 9-minute mark. Coach Danny Sullivan sending in the play. Allard, Hutton, and Gamez split to the right. And Campagna takes a big hit Micah Mosley on the blitz. And Joey barely able to get that pass off, falling incomplete. And so the Monarchs go out on downs with 8:25 left in the game. And Jesse Diana returns at quarterback for the Warriors. And that handoff goes to number 31. That's Corbin Bixby, who has just checked into the game. And so with a 35-point lead, Mike Machado sending in some of his bench to get some minutes here in this final game of the regular season ahead of the playoffs. Bixby remains in the backfield with Diana. And Bixby is the ball carrier, surges forward, keeps his feet, and he's out nearly to a first down. Marked about 1 yard short, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
9-yard rush to the 36. 3rd down and 1.
Number 33, Ethan McCombie, checking out for the game. Anthony Nazareda checking in for the Monarchs. Jack Fortuna takes the handoff in the backfield for the Warriors, and he is met hard by Caden Allard. Check that. That's Talon Salahi, the big linebacker, coming from the backside and lowering the boom on Fortuna. The Warriors move the sticks again and pick up another first down. Clock now at 5:45 and running. Bixby again the ball carrier, and the young man rumbles forward. Picks up about 11 yards.
Bixby, the ball carrier. Stopped by 11, Anthony Nazareth.
And with the size and strength of this front five of the Warriors, I think even I could pick up a few yards with an offensive line like this, as Bixby busts one for 11 yards and picks up another Warrior first down. Diana remains in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Handoff goes to Bixby. He surges forward, picks up about 3.
Tackled by 52, Brandon Azar.
And the clock now at 4:25 and running.
Game 2 to midfield. 2nd down.
Warriors content to keep the ball on the ground. Jack Fortuna now the lone setback behind Diana. Fortuna takes the handoff, sweeps around the right side, and he is met over there. Number 4, Adam Carrera on the tackle. but not before another couple of yards is tagged on. Ball now resting squarely on the 50-yard line, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 8 with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on a running clock. And in the interim, a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is tagged onto the Warriors, and so that will push them back 15 yards and bring up a 3rd and 23. And with the game essentially decided, this is still an interesting call for Mike Machado and his young sophomore quarterback. Jack Fortuna remains in the backfield. 2 receivers split to the top of your screen. Monarchs showing blitz. And Fortuna eventually brought down by Grant Schmidt, number 23. And this will bring up a 3rd and 16. So Alex Blazinski, Dan Smith, and Drayton Johnson up front will try to dig in here and force at least one more punt and a chance to put some points on the board. And it looks like the Monarchs may have jumped off sides. We'll wait to see whether that's the case or whether there was an early movement, and that seems to be the case, as there's a false start called on the Warriors. And will back them up 5 yards and bring up a 3rd and 21. So Mike Machado opts to keep his offense out on the field with the clock running and just over 1 minute left. Fortuna, the lone running back. He takes the handoff and is brought down behind the line of scrimmage, tackled there. Great play. Number 52, Brandon Azar. And the clock continues to run, and we are inside of 20 seconds, and it appears that the ball game will end on that last tackle. And so the Monarchs, who entered tonight's game with high hopes on senior night, end up walking out on the wrong end of a 35-0 defeat at the hands of the Valley Christian Warriors, who I have to say looked very impressive tonight offensively, and in particular with the young Jesse Diana at the helm. Well, folks, as this is our final broadcast of the year, we'd like to take a few minutes to send out a few shouts and thank yous to some folks who've been instrumental in bringing you these games throughout the season. First, to Director of Athletics Brian Eagleson and Associate Athletic Director Monica Markison for their leadership and vision in making these live streams a reality. Also to Assistant Athletic Director Pat Kennedy, who served as the executive producer of these broadcasts and did a lot of behind-the-scenes legwork to make all of this happen. A big thanks to P. Good, our Director of Communications, for keeping us up to date and providing us with information about all of the goings-on around Archbishop Mitty. An especially big thank you goes out to the AMHS varsity football coaching staff, and in particular head coach Danny Sullivan, and assistant coaches Fred Collado and Steve Sloan for making time to share their expert insights ahead of all 5 of our broadcasts this season. And finally, a special shout out to our outstanding video production crew from the great staff at Casadante Productions for doing such a great job in bringing the sights and sounds of these games from the stadium into your homes. And with the strains of the alma mater playing in front of the home bench here on senior night, I'd like to personally thank all of you for tuning in and being a part of these broadcasts this year. It's been a pleasure coming into your homes over the last 3 months. A reminder that the Monarchs will move on to the postseason, and we'll find out the division and seed in 2 days' time when the CCS football playoff seeding meeting takes place in the offices down in San Jose. But in the meantime, on behalf of the entire production staff and our athletic department, this is JT Hanley signing off, and thanks for watching AMHS Live. Good night.